This may be a controversial take, but as a builder, I think megabases are honestly ruining Minecraft, and I'm not even speaking about the creation itself. Everything within modern YouTube content needs to be highly clickable and attention grabbing, I get that, but it sets an unreasonable expectation for average players. Over time, I've seen the ecosystem of videos change and adapt, moving away from casual storytelling and let's plays, which honestly I think is hurting builders both new and old. Now, before you rush off into the comments telling me that I'm just jealous, let me explain while I build progressively smaller bases to prove my point. To understand why I think mega bases are changing Minecraft building for the worst, we really have to go back to the early days of YouTube. Back then, the game was almost smaller. While yes, the mechanics were rudimentary, I believe this feeling mainly stemmed from the ambitions of a lot of creators during that era. Nobody was trying to build the biggest base on the internet or spend 2,000 hours transforming an entire world before even building their starter base. People simply played the game, built whatever sounded fun or interesting, and shared their ideas that they were proud of. You'd see some of the most iconic builds change and grow alongside your favorite YouTubers. Castles that perched awkwardly on mountains or random redstone tests and creations that you could see grow with each build. Everything would develop with us, the audience, adding to the ever-changing world that we were creating as a community. It was fun and interactive and honestly felt like you were sitting in the passenger seat giving directions instead of just silently watching. Looking back, that's really what made these worlds memorable. Not that there weren't some insane builds, there absolutely were. But Minecraft was more about memories that were shared between the community, which is something that I think is slowly slipping away from us now. Instead of asking what would be fun to build, creators now have started asking one simple, almost robotic question. How can I make this clickable? How can I get my content viewed? Day by day, I believe this changed the landscape forever. Farms became industrial, all-encompassing complexes with catchy titles and thumbnails. Storage rooms became self-automating warehouses, and starter houses required hours of complex grinding to find the perfect block. Now, gone are the days of simple dirt shacks and unfinished builds. Every popular video shared one common feature that forever changed the perception of Minecraft. Outdo what came before. Whether that be larger projects, longer, unrealistic grinds, or more unbelievable numbers and rates than the average player would know what to do with. And to be clear, I'm not saying these projects aren't impressive or inspiring. The dedication alone is something to marvel at. The amount of planning, resource grinding, technical knowledge, and artistic ability required to design and construct modern megabases is honestly incredible. Some of these projects are genuinely larger than anything Minecraft has ever seen before. But if you're a new player opening YouTube hoping for some inspiration, it's really easy to come away believing that this is what good and successful survival worlds are supposed to look like. That to be successful means spending hours draining entire oceans, decimating mountains, and spending hundreds and hundreds of your own personal time before your world is finally worthy to be shown off. Without anyone really saying it, the definition of an impressive build has slowly shifted away from personal creativity towards sheer scale and years of skill and technical perfection. And I truly believe this is changing how people build and even think about building. Now, there is nothing wrong with playing the way these large creators do. Minecraft is a sandbox after all, and one of its greatest strengths is that everyone can enjoy it differently. But when one style or direction becomes a standard that everyone feels like they should aspire towards, something gets lost, honestly. The cozy survival worlds that grew one project at a time with no real catchy build are now getting labeled as unfinished. Smaller builds feel insignificant, even if the creator has pride in what they've made. Players and content creators burn themselves out trying to chase projects that are beyond what they actually enjoy making, only to be outdone and forgotten a week later. And that's why I think this trend is honestly worth talking about. Not because mega bases are bad, but I think the culture and expectations surrounding them is teaching a lot of up-and-coming builders the wrong lessons. But all of this raises a bigger question. Have we just collectively convinced ourselves that bigger automatically means better, or is there actually some truth to it? Should smaller builds always feel less impressive than mega bases, or have we reached a point where the impressiveness is coming from outside of the structure itself? More so into the hours it takes to create them instead of the actual structure itself. What you've been seeing in the background is my attempt to try and answer those questions on a smaller level. I built 3 different builds, progressively decreasing the workable space. While building, I only gave myself 2 rules. Every build had to feel complete and like I would live in it, and I had to genuinely enjoy the process of making it. As soon as I felt like the build was taking away my happiness, it needed to be stopped. I didn't go into this trying to prove that small builds are somehow superior, but something strange happened. While the final builds turned out more or less how I expected, the building experience itself didn't. Each smaller plot forced different decisions and encouraged a different kind of creativity. The constraints of working smaller changed how I even approached the challenge. By the end, I realized the most important takeaway I'd learnt had almost nothing to do with the builds themselves and everything with how I was using my mind. And I think that's a lesson we've started to forget. With these larger builds, your mind and mentality changes drastically. You're no longer thinking about how to optimize space and challenge your concept. Instead, you can just always build bigger. So, are mega bases really ruining Minecraft? No, at least not by themselves. Some of my all-time favorite Minecraft creations are mega bases that span thousands of hours and require so much work it honestly makes me dizzy to even consider. The amount of creativity, planning, and dedication behind them is nothing short of incredible, and I have nothing but respect for those that are capable of pulling them off. What I think is truly ruining Minecraft for new builders is the expectation that every creation worth sharing has to be bigger, has to be iconic, has to be new. Somewhere along Minecraft's journey, we stopped celebrating builds because they had character and started celebrating them because they had statistics, flashy building mechanics, and hours of grinding put into them. It slowly moved away from sharing creations that we'd love to personally live in should we appear in this world, and more like we're presenting the next corporate spectacle for views. Maybe that's why so many modern survival worlds feel strangely forgettable to me, and why I hold such a tender spot in my heart for a lot of what Hermitcraft is doing in recent years. A lot of what we see is beautiful, but they often feel more like attractions than homes with character. Every block is carefully designed, every mountain perfectly landscaped, every empty space has a purpose, and every system is optimized. There's almost never any evidence that someone had a story in mind when building. The worlds I keep coming back to aren't the biggest or the flashiest, but they hold a tender spot in my heart. They're always the ones with decentralized storage or awkward house extensions because they forgot to add something crucial. The little greenhouse that serves no real purpose other than to make the creator smile is honestly the highlight and what sticks it in my mind. Those places have personality, charm, stories. And maybe that's what I've really been seeing a lack of recently. Minecraft to me has always been a game of expression, not perfection. Every world is a reflection of the one who built it, and I think it's far more impressive than whether it's big enough or flashy enough to impress someone scrolling past a thumbnail. So if you're starting a new world, or maybe you've been staring at a blank loading screen wondering where to begin, here's my challenge. From one small, simple-minded builder to another aspiring creator, build something that makes you happy and share it. Not because it'll get clicks and not because it'll impress strangers, just because years from now, you'll look back at it and remember exactly who you were when you built it. To me, that's what Minecraft has always been about, and I think we need to find that again. Thank you for watching.